What's going on, bottom line viewers and NFL bettors? It's Mitch back here with another week of NFL Best Bets, this time for week 17 of the 2022 NFL season. Week 16, it was an absolute dumpster fire. It was a tough week and extremely unlucky, but sometimes that's just the way it goes. 3 picks, missing out by half a point. All I know is that week 17 won't be a repeat of week 16. So let's get back on track. Let's Gronk spike the like button. And let's begin our 5 favorite picks versus the spread for week 17. My first pick versus the spread for week 17 is the Washington Commanders -2 at home over the Cleveland Browns. This is back to basics, analyzing the matchups of both teams. The Cleveland Browns like to run the football with Nick Chubb. And when you can stop the run like Washington, just look at that San Francisco game. It wasn't a great one for the Commanders, but realize right now that the 49ers are probably the best team all around in football, and they can beat you in any which way imaginable. The Cleveland Browns are not that type of team. They don't have that type of balance. They cannot rely on their passing game that way. And they also are not a great defensive team like San Francisco. The Browns can win one way. That is running the football, winning time of possession, creating big plays through their passing game off of play action, and rushing the quarterback, rushing the passer. Washington is built to beat this type of team. Washington can stop the run with the best of them. And they shut down Christian McCaffrey and the 49er rushing attack. That wasn't the issue. The issue was Washington's offense couldn't get anything going versus the best defense in the NFL. I expect a big bounce back at home here with playoff hopes on the line for the Commanders. I think they get back to the running game versus a weak run defense of the Cleveland Browns. I think they win the time of possession. They really milk the clock here. And that is just the way they love to play this year. They want to play defense. They want to play time of possession. They want to be able to win the field position battle. And I feel like the Commanders are the kryptonite of the style of the Cleveland Browns. Run the football, stop the run. That is exactly what you have to do versus the Cleveland Browns here. Plus, they have an athletic front four that can create some havoc, create some pressure, and get after Deshaun Watson and force some mistakes. The Browns have been overrated since he has become their quarterback. I am fading them once again this week, week 17. My second pick versus the spread for week 17. If the Jacksonville Jags are as good as everyone thinks they are, as good as I think they are, they have to cover 4.5 versus the Houston Texans. I don't care where the game is. I don't care if it's on Earth, Jupiter, Jacksonville, Houston. It doesn't matter. They have to cover this game. 4.5 points is simply not enough points. I love this spot for Jacksonville. They've had 10 days to get ready, rest, prepare for this game, take care of business versus this AFC South rival that they lost to. So it shows their improvement from earlier in the year. Jacksonville hit this kind of low point of their season, beginning with a loss to the Houston Texans. Can they reverse that fortune and showcase why they should make the playoffs and get ready for that Titans game in week 18 to determine who's going to win this division? I believe Jacksonville will win this game convincingly. Houston is coming off of a win versus the Titans, which is basically their Super Bowl. They've already won too many games. They're not looking to win any more to kind of jeopardize their pick in the draft. And I believe the Texans are going to kind of tank this week somewhat. Just a feel. I don't know anything, just a thought. And I do believe that Jacksonville is going to want that revenge from that early season loss. So I like the Jags, the way they're running the ball, the way that Trevor Lawrence is playing, and the way that they are getting to the quarterback. I feel that this is a team that is dangerous entering January because they're young, they're hungry, and they don't know what they don't know. And I expect them to lay the smackdown on the Texans in this game. My third best bet for week number 17 is the San Francisco 49ers. We are back with the 49ers once again as a best bet. Now, I bet this game truthfully at -5. If this game dips below 6, immediately jump on it once again, but it should not dip below 6 because I think this is a mismatch. The 49ers are a lot more talented than the Las Vegas Raiders. 49ers are the best team in the NFL for my money. I've said it once, I'll say it again. The 49ers have the best defense in football, and what that defense does extremely well is win the line of scrimmage. They will dominate the line of scrimmage in the run game. Josh Jacobs will have nowhere to go, and those are the games that the Raiders have struggled to win. On top of that, they have a corner that can play physical and match up with Devontae Adams, Charvarius Ward. On top of that, they have very athletic linebackers that can play against Darren Waller. And on top of that, they have a pass rush that can absolutely pressure Derek Carr into some mistakes. Derek Carr, every time I watch him this year, he misses throws. And in the fourth quarter, he tenses up because I don't feel he is extremely confident in his reads within this McDaniels offense. So I believe the Niners defense dominates the Raiders offense. On the other side of the ball, the Raiders are not very good defensively, and I think the Niners will be able to do whatever they wish. I think they'll run the ball effectively. I think they'll throw it effectively. And they just don't have the athletes or the cover guys to be able to defend George Kittle, Christian McCaffrey out of the backfield, or Brandon Ayuk. Brock Purdy will have a nice, comfortable day, and I just don't see Shanahan being stopped here. This is especially the type of defense where they're a little slow that Shanahan's run game especially works against. So I feel that the Niners will run away with this victory in Las Vegas. This is the week where I feel the Raiders have been playing a lot of close games. They finally fall apart. As we saw with Josh Jacobs at the end of that Steelers game, I think the team just has no fight, no heart left for 2022, and they're pretty much out of the playoffs. The Niners still have that second seed to fight for. I expect them to play well and to win this game comfortably and cover the 6. My fourth best bet of Week 17 is the Denver Broncos getting 13.5 points on the road versus the Chiefs. The reason I love the 13.5 here, anything above 13, is the Broncos getting a new head coach. Hackett is gone. Hackett is out. No longer is that stink all over the Denver Broncos. Now they'll have a rejuvenated purpose, a rejuvenated energy, and excitement within the building. And they'll want to prove to their new coach that they have his back. At any point in a season, when you see a new head coach, typically the team comes through with a better performance, more energy, more passion. It's not like Denver doesn't have talent, doesn't have a very talented defense. And I believe Denver will be able to go toe-to-toe with the Chiefs on that side of the ball. I think Denver's defense will really play hard here for the new head coach, just because I think they have pride. These are professionals, and I believe that they're going to play extremely hard. I love the spot for Denver. For the Chiefs, they really shouldn't have covered versus the Seahawks, but they did. And Seattle surprisingly slowed down their offense. They didn't play particularly well in that game, even at home, versus arguably the worst defense of the past month, Seattle. I think Denver is going to put forth a surprisingly good defensive performance, and if they can get anything out of this offense, like they did in the first matchup versus the Chiefs, where they covered in that game, I think they should easily cover 13.5, nearly 2 touchdowns and 2 extra points in a divisional matchup. It's just too many points, especially a Chiefs team that struggles to cover these type of spreads, and a Chiefs team that struggles to get up for games versus lesser opponents. I think the Broncos will come forth with passion, energy, and cover the 13.5 on the road. My fifth and final best bet of Week 17 is the Sunday nighter Pittsburgh Steelers. Mike Tomlin as an underdog, getting 3 points at the Baltimore Ravens. If you watched the earlier game this year versus the Ravens, I kind of felt like the Pittsburgh Steelers were the better team in that game, and the only reason they lost the game was due to turnovers by Mitch Trubisky. Kenny Pickett should be the quarterback in this game. The Steelers are actually pretty healthy entering this game, and the Baltimore Ravens don't really know if Lamar Jackson will be active. I don't think he will be. The Ravens are a bit more beat up on the defensive side of the ball, and I do feel as long as the Steelers don't turn it over like the first game, this is going to be a field goal type of game, and I like Pittsburgh to not drop 2 to the Ravens. It's very rare that the Steelers get swept by the Ravens. I don't think they get swept here. I think the Steelers pull off the mini upset in this game. They run the ball. They get some explosive plays down the field from their receiving core. And I do feel their defense will be able to do a good enough job against the run and then rush the passer to create mistakes from the Raven passing game. I like the Steelers, Mike Tomlin as an underdog, to just simply not get swept versus their greatest rival with their playoff hopes hanging in the balance. So give me the Steelers plus the 3 points on Sunday night. Those are my 5 best bets for Week 17 of the 2022 NFL season. Let me know your favorite pick, your favorite bet of Week 17 in the comment section below. It's Mitch of the BLV. Let's have a great week this Week 17. Peace.